The Karl-Marx-Allee is a monumental socialist boulevard built by the GDR between 1952 and 1960 in Berlin Friedrichshain and Mitte. Today the boulevard is named after Karl Marx. The boulevard was named Stalinallee between 1949 and 1961, and was a flagship building project of East Germany's reconstruction program after World War II. It was designed by the architects Hermann Henselmann, Hartmann, Hopp, Leucht, Paulick and Souradny to contain spacious and luxurious apartments for plain workers, as well as shops, restaurants, cafés, a tourist hotel and an enormous cinema. The avenue, which is 89 meters wide and nearly 2 kilometers long, is lined with monumental 8-story buildings designed in the wedding cake style, the socialist classicism of the Soviet Union. At each end are dual towers at Frankfurter and Strasburger Platz designed by Hermann Henselmann. The buildings differ in the revêtements of the facades, which contained often equally traditional Berlin motifs by Karl Friedrichshain. Most of the buildings are covered by architectural ceramics. A monumental Stalin statue presented to the East German government by a Komsomol delegation on the occasion of the Third World Festival of Youth and Students was formally dedicated on 3 August 1951 after being temporarily placed at a location on the newly designed and impressive boulevard. It remained there until 1961, when it was removed in a clandestine operation in the course of de-Stalinization. On June 17, 1953, the Stalinallee became the focus of a worker uprising which endangered the young state's existence. Builders and construction workers demonstrated against the communist government, leading to a national uprising. The rebellion was quashed with Soviet tanks and troops, resulting in the loss of at least 125 lives. Later the street was used for East Germany's annual May Day parade, featuring thousands of soldiers along with tanks and other military vehicles to showcase the power and the glory of the communist government. The Stalinization led to the renaming of the street after the founder of Marxism, in late 1961. Since the collapse of Eastern European communism in 1989–1990, renaming the street back to its pre-war name Grosse Frankfurter Straße has periodically been discussed, so far without conclusive results. The boulevard later found favor with postmodernists, with Philip Johnson describing it as true city planning on the grand scale, while Aldo Rossi called it Europe's last great street. Since German reunification, most of the buildings, including the two towers, have been restored. Shopping. After its completion in the 1950s, the boulevard was very popular with Berliners and visitors alike. People crowded into the stores. Taking the E-line to the shops on Stalin Boulevard was not only a catchy slogan, it was also characteristic of everyday life in the East German capital. People could find things they would not see elsewhere, and the shopping facilities set an example for the whole of the GDR. The shops offered great variety and were attractively decorated. People could relax in cafés such as Sibyl or at the Cosmos Cinema, and in the evening they could take the guests to one of the representative restaurants with such sonorous names as Warsaw, Bucharest or Budapest. The boulevard soon developed into a shopper's paradise in the GDR, which was otherwise suffering from the deficits of its centrally planned economy. It also served the ideological function of introducing visitors to the culture of its socialist sister states. Shopping was a mixed experience for visitors from the West. Most stores, such as the gum department store, would not accept payment for purchased items without a receipt from an East German bank showing that the West German marks had been exchanged for East German marks at a rate of 1:1. In the West, the exchange rate was 1:8, but most restaurants and bookstores were not concerned with these requirements, so bargains were to be found. Stalin's bathroom. In February 2009, an anonymous author edited the article Karl-Marx-Allee in the German-language edition of Wikipedia, claiming that during the time of the GDR the road had acquired the nickname Stalin's bathroom due to the building's tiled facades. Subsequently, several media outlets reiterated this claim. No alternative verification for the term was given, making it a self-referential claim. After a letter written to the Berlin Zeitung questioned whether the term Stalin's bathroom had actually been in common use during the GDR period, Andreas Kopitz, a journalist at the newspaper, published an article admitting he had invented the phrase and identifying himself as the original anonymous Wikipedia editor, allowing the record to be set straight. Photographs.